Welcome back, everybody. We are extending our conversation from previous video, which you might have seen, where we were discussing who could play a Jane Bond if they were to recast James Bond as a woman. But now we want to open the conversation up to the topic of recastings, reimaginings in general. Whether it's gender or race or size, height, all these sorts of things. Religion, perhaps. Country of origin. I don't know why that would matter, but it might matter.
I don't think I care what the actor's religion is.
Some people have been bothered when people have been cast as clearly not. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me personally, but for some people it does.
The problem.
So look, we've had some major recastings. Thor becoming a woman, right?
Oh yeah, Jane.
Exactly. We could have a Jane Bond. We have the Ghostbusters, which you pointed out off camera. I mean, they're not the same characters.
They're not the same characters. You
but
don't
it is
have
a squad.
Someone saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm Zedmore," and I'm.
That's true. That people would not have liked that.
No, I wouldn't have liked that either, personally.
No. But I mean, it was an intentional reimagining. Like, it wasn't like they just happened upon this group. Like, they wanted to do it a different way, which was all women.
Did you just say Ghostbusters and women in a video on the internet?
No.
You're screwed, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be locked away for all eternity in one of those little boxes. So what do you think generally is, when do you think it makes sense? When do you think it doesn't make sense to do this?
It makes sense when it doesn't really matter about, like, when it's not integral to the plot. I mean, when we're talking, not we, but Naughty Dog was recently talking about this when they were doing Uncharted 4, and there's a female villain who originally was male, and then the designers when they were discussing these, they went, does he have to be male? Is it integral to his character, his role? And they thought, I guess it isn't.
It isn't, yeah.
So then they were just like, okay, and they changed it, and nobody had a problem with it except for one playtester.
Oh, really?
Who got kicked out for being like, not you too, Naughty Dog.
Oh my god. Wait, just because there was a woman? Like, it wasn't like, and he didn't know it had been a man.
He was also pissed. I mean, I might spoil this a little bit. He was also pissed that Nathan Drake had a daughter instead of a son. Which is a silly thing. Like, who are you, Henry VIII, where you get pissed when someone has a daughter? Yeah,
I didn't like it that in The Last of Us I had to escort a girl. Why does a girl have to be one of the Last of Us? So I think generally, when it doesn't matter to the character, then do whatever you want, I guess.
If it doesn't change who the character is, who they are at their core, fine.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine because we do need more diversity in movies and all of that. Like I thought people freaking out about Heimdall being Idris Elba in Thor. Like, I get that, like, it theoretically makes some difference since they're supposed to be Nordic gods, that they look like Nordic people.
People are going to be pissed soon with this new show.
But it doesn't matter. What new show?
What it's called. It's coming to ABC. It's being put on. It's one of the Shondaland shows. It's like about the Capulets and the Montagues, and one of the families is black now.
No, but I will say, I think that, like I said in the case of James Bond, being a man is central to the role. Also, being British is central to the role. So if you change either of those two things, that would be bad.
The English component is. Has to in my head. And
or else it's not James Bond.
That's not my country. You know, I don't have a personal stake. I just think that's key to the character.
It would be like changing up Harry Potter and making him French. No, he's British, damn it. That's what he's supposed to be. In the same way that I think that if you were to recast Lara Croft into a man, no, it's not Tomb Raider.
It's
Uncharted? I mean, it's not Indiana Jones, exactly. It's a different thing. Like, her being a woman matters to who she is and why she does what she does.
Yeah, because she does face certain obstacles because she is a woman.
Exactly, yeah.
And she does have certain, even getting into what she does as someone who's a world adventurer and traveler, a lot of the time there are stumbling blocks that involve her being a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, in the case of Thor, I don't think it's integral whether it's a man or a woman. Well, I think that there's other core things about it.
They treat Thor like a title. Which is it's a slightly different problem, or not problem, slightly different scenario. Yeah. Which is, this person is Thor because they're worthy. Yeah. So, but we know underneath, Thor Odinson and Jane Foster are two different people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could see like a Captain America being a woman. Like, it's that they're American, that they're patriotic that matters, or that they work for Hydra or whatever. It's not that they're a man that matters, I think.
Yeah.
But there are other roles where...
I don't think patriotism is the key role to Captain America.
Anymore.
It's more like, can you wield the shield and stand up for people?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I mean, like, Batman, it is Batman, but him being a man doesn't matter. It's about him being a rich person who went through a traumatic event.
I think Bruce Wayne needs to be a man.
I don't have as much of an attachment to Batman as you, so maybe I see it differently. Like, Superman doesn't have to be a man, necessarily, because it's about him being an outsider and him being burdened by too much power that matters to him.
The weird thing about those characters is they both have a female counterpart.
That is
if
true.
not 2 or 3 female counterparts.
Yeah, because people saw that you could take that core concept and put it on a woman. What about Spider-Man? It almost makes more sense that it would be a woman, honestly, with the way the character actually works.
There are female Spider.
Exactly, yeah.
There's Silk. There's Spider-Gwen, you know?
Oh, I didn't know. She became a Spider-Person? I didn't know that, honestly.
Complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of some female roles where being a woman is inherently core to the experience. I'm sure that there are more where it wouldn't make sense to switch it. Now, obviously, I think it's always going to be more contentious to make that change than to make the racial change. There are some characters where the racial identity is core to them, like Black Panther, for instance, like that matters.
He has to be an African prince.
Exactly.
From Wakanda.
You can't just switch that. And there are some others too, but I think that generally in terms of how people form roles, I mean, maybe it's a difference without a distinction or whatever, or distinction without a difference. I think that it matters whether the thing is core to who they are. And if it doesn't matter to who they are, if it's not core to who they are, if who they are is really about something else, about a life experience or something like that, then adding a little bit of diversity and having a slightly different look at the character, I think makes all the sense in the world. Mm-hmm. And anyway, the way that they do most of these franchises, they reboot them every 3 to 5 years. So if you don't like the way that they go in one direction, they'll probably switch back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to not get too upset by this because I'm used to the idea of reboots. I'm used to the idea of alternate universes, especially in comics, like Earth 2,
They do.
Earth 600, you know.
626 or whatever.
It doesn't bother me as much. Like, I didn't like Batman v Superman, but I didn't lose my shit over it.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So these are our thoughts. Obviously, this is going to be an ongoing conversation as more and more books and comics and movies and games get made. But you can let us know what you think. When do you think it makes sense to switch up some of the characteristics of a role? When do you think it doesn't make sense? What needs to be preserved? Let us know what you think down below. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.